South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham joins us now for more on those topics and more. Good to see you tonight.
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's start with DACA. Today was the day, the deadline from President Trump to get something done. At least 4 things that we know of in the Senate couldn't even make it past the procedural vote to get to where you could actually consider the content. It seems like everything on that front is stalled, is it?
Well, we got 54 votes for a bipartisan bill that gave $25 billion for the border wall and a pathway to citizenship for the 1.8 million DACA recipients, or DACA eligible people. We need 6 more votes, and the president opposed the bill. If we could find some change to that bill that he likes, we can get 60, probably 70 votes.
Oh, okay. Well, this is what the president said today. He tweeted, "It's March 5th. And the Democrats are nowhere to be found on DACA. Gave them 6 months. They just don't care. Where are they? We are ready to make a deal." Now, your colleague, Senator Kamala Harris, a Democrat, said this: "The reality is this administration created this crisis and sabotaged every effort by Congress to resolve it by using these young people as pawns to achieve an anti-immigrant agenda." Who's right, or is the truth in between somewhere?
Here's what I think. The president has had the right approach about solving the problem and getting border security in return. Now, when you start trying to do everything comprehensive just for DACA, you're not going to get there with the Democrats. So he wants to do it in 2 phases. The problem is, where do you draw the line? So here's my hope, that the president can re-engage and we can build on the idea of border wall, $25 billion, give him the money he wants to build the wall, and a pathway forward for the DACA eligible population, to me, is a pretty good deal. Can you add things to it? Maybe. But if the president re-engaged and he got behind that idea, then it would pass.
Well, it seems like there's not a motivation. The pressure.
She voted against that idea, by the way.
Well, it seems like there's not motivation right now because the pressure is off. Because 2 federal courts, lower courts, have stayed this idea that March 5th was going to be the deadline. And you know, a lot of people think about you guys that you don't get things done until you're in crisis mode.
You know, you never do your homework until you have to.
Not
never
me.
Well, you probably did study.
You know me, I got it done early. I was trying to get extra credit.
You probably were that kind of girl. But here's the deal: the Congress only reacts to pressure. Yeah. The pressure's off, but not on these young people. The pressure's not off on a broken border. The border needs to be fixed. It's not going to be fixed with $1.3 billion, which we appropriate this year. And the million-plus DACA eligible people, they don't know where they're going to be 6 months from now. So why don't we do 2 things? Let's secure our border, which everybody thinks we should, and give these young people a better life, which everybody thinks we should. I would urge the president to re-engage, take the bipartisan bill, and make it better.
Well, you know the devil's in the details, because those are 2 broad concepts that people do agree on. They don't agree on how to get there. Somewhere else that people are worried that there are floundering sentiments at this point are the gun bills. Now, some people like that because they say don't infringe on the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding individuals. Others say something has to be done.
I agree with that.
Andrew Pollock, who lost his daughter Meadow, said this weekend, he said this: gun laws right now are not achievable. He said you got to focus on school safety instead.
You know, I think doing away with the bump stocks, that's achievable. I own an AR-15. A bump stock makes it an automatic weapon. I'm willing to get rid of that, even though I believe I have the right to own an AR-15 responsibly. The sweet spot to me is focusing on the schoolhouse and answering the question, how could this guy have gone so long without somebody intervening? We tell our citizens, if you see something, say something. And you know what our citizens are telling us? Do something, government. Yeah. Mr. Pollock, I think, has got a really good opportunity here to drive home the fact that if we'd had a system in place that could deal with somebody like this, the shooting wouldn't have happened. So I'm going to introduce a bill Thursday with Senator Blumenthal, hopefully Republicans and Democrats working together, to take the Indiana law, which allows a judge to be petitioned by law enforcement or a family member to suspend somebody's gun rights if they're becoming mentally unstable, a danger to themselves or others. I'd like to take that law and go national. In this case, 30 visits from the cops. People called the FBI tip line, and nobody did a damn thing. So we did nothing, even though a lot of people saw something and said something. This bill would create a legal mechanism, what they're trying to do in Florida this week, to allow family members and law enforcement officials to go to a judge with plenty of due process for the gun owner.
How does the due process work? Where do they have a chance to present their side of the case before the guns are taken and confiscated, or sometime after?
Okay, it would be an ex parte hearing. hearing, which is a lawyer.
Yeah, it means that the other side, the person who is the subject of we're going to take our guns away, they're not going to be there. 72
hours. First thing you do is allow the family member and the cops to go into the judge, and they got to prove probable cause. It would be like issuing a warrant. Before you can suspend gun rights, you have to meet the burden of probable cause. Within 72 hours or some short period of time, the person in question will get notified, and they'll have a chance to contest the allegations against them. And if there's a clear and convincing evidence standard met, then you can suspend the gun rights for 6 months. So the first thing is the cops and family members get to go to the jail, say this guy's about to blow or this gal's about to blow. The judge can make a finding if you can meet the probable cause standard. Then the person comes before the judge. They can tell their side of the story. They'll have a full-blown hearing. Then the clear and convincing evidence standard must be met. And if it is met, you can suspend the gun rights of the person who people believe is mentally unstable. Put that to the Cruz case. 30 visits by the cops. Tip line calls. He's going to go to the school and shoot somebody. He puts on his Facebook page he's going to kill people in that school. If he had had a mechanism like this, they could have done something. So I'm not going to be quiet like Mr. Pollack. I am not going to sit on the sidelines and not try to do something. This is not taking anybody's guns away. This is giving a chance for people who are in the crosshairs of folks like Cruz to be able to do something about it.
Providing due process before any guns are
Before somebody
seized.
goes into the school and kills a bunch of people, which people told the cops he was going to do
many warnings. Okay, we will watch for that. You roll it out this week. It's a bipartisan measure this far. So let us know how it goes.
I will. Thanks.
Senator, good to see you.
Thank you.
All right.